Okay, so 14b is going to work the same as 14a. Because we have two different trig functions, we need to draw a triangle, label it. We'll use the inside one to draw the triangle, and the outside one is what we'll use to get our answer. We're given the same instructions as a. It says that u is given as positive. So when you're talking about inverse sine, you can draw the triangle in either quadrant 1 or 4, but because we're given u as positive, that means we'll draw it in the first quadrant. So we draw a triangle here in the first quadrant. Theta would be there, and there's your right angle. We now need to use the inside one in order to label the sides. Now an inverse is always going to give you an angle as a result. So we can say that theta is equal to the inverse sine of 4 times u. We need to take the sine of both sides to get rid of the inverse sine that we have here. So if we do sine theta, sine of inverse sine will cancel, and you'll just get 4 times u left over. Of course, we can also put that over 1, so that way we have two sides we can label on the triangle. So for this, the angle is here, so the opposite side of that angle would be, we'll put the 4u there, and then the 1, that has to be the hypotenuse. The definition for sine is opposite over hypotenuse. That's what we have set up here. Opposite is 4u, and the hypotenuse is 1. We need to figure out this side, so that way we can use the definition for tangent in order to get the answer. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. In this case, the 1 has to go in there for c, because that's the side opposite the right angle. A and b doesn't matter. So I'll do a squared, and then I'll put a 4u in here, and we'll square that one. Be careful when you square this. Inside this parentheses, you have two different things. Both of those have to be squared. This is the biggest mistake I see students make here, is forgetting to square the 4. So make sure you square both of them. So 4 squared would be 16, and then you have u squared. And then 1 squared will give you a 1. We want to solve for a squared, so we're going to subtract 16u squared from both sides. And then finally, we want to get rid of the square and get a by itself. So you're going to take the square root of both sides, and we get this. Like before, like I mentioned in the 14a, you're not allowed to square root both of these separately. Because there's a minus sign separating that prevents you from taking the square root of both of those separately. It has to either be multiplication or division in order for that to occur. So this is as far as you can go with that. 1 minus 16 u squared we'll put in here. Now that we have all the sides labeled, we're ready to use the outside one in order to write our answer. So we're going to use the definition for tangent. Definition for tangent, opposite over adjacent. So the opposite side is 4u, the adjacent side is the square root. Okay, so for that we have 4u is going to go on top, the square root is going to go on the bottom. So again, that's going to be opposite over adjacent. So we have this is our answer. Now don't worry about rationalizing this one. You only have to rationalize if you have a number on the bottom, but whenever you have variables with a square root, not necessary to rationalize that. So we can leave our answer in this form.